we're going to talk about bathroom safety products. We're going to go through several things quickly. We're going to start with the commodes. Whenever you're delivering a commode, you got to make sure you've got a bucket, and you've got a thing called a splash guard here. That allows you to use this. You can actually take this, just put this in without the bucket, and put this right over the toilet, and they can use that as a way to get up off the toilet easier. And then if they need to use it by the bedside, they pull this out and use the bucket instead. Just a tip for the customer, if they put a little bit of water or Lysol or Pine Sol, something like that to control the odor, and it'll also help them clean it out in between. When you're bringing back commodes, leave this at the home. It's disposable, throw it away. Don't bring them back. These are going to be pretty nasty sometimes. We don't want them. We're going to throw them away if they come here anyway. We just don't want them on the vans or anything, so throw it away. These commodes, they have just like a regular toilet seat. They've got the hole in them, the lid. You need both. If you're putting them together, it's made out of plastic in the back, so put them on gently. These will snap on occasion, and then you're toast. They're adjustable for height. There's a pin system, just like a lot of our other equipment. It's got that pin system, so you can adjust that for height. That's the patient comfort. The higher the better, typically for most people. The idea is you're trying to get them up higher so they don't have to go down as far, and they don't have as much effort to get up. You'll want to order collapsing or foldable commodes, because these will use up a lot less space on your van and in your warehouse. This pin, you undo the pins on the front. This part falls down. You take one leg folding forward, and then you got to take the back off. This will spin, and then put your back on, and then it's wrapped up and ready to go. Now you grab this. Do not forget your bucket and your splash guard. But if this is wrapped up, this is the way you want to store them. You want to put them on your van. It uses up a lot less space. Now, we do have some older versions here that do not fold out. This one here is bolted in on the front. These you won't be able to fold up, but it has the same, everything else is the same on them. You adjust the same. You're just going to have to wrap this whole thing, and it takes up a lot of space. So I would only use these. If you know you've got a commode delivery that day and you're taking it out, grab one of these and use it, because it's going to be off your van pretty quick. But if you're loading your van with regular stuff, use those collapsible ones. They take up so much less space. So moving on, this is a bariatric commode, very big. It's got a lot bigger capacity. I'd have to double check on the weight capacity. I think this is a 500. Everything, those are 300. The ones we showed before, this is a 500-pound weight capacity. They make them to 1,000, but those are going to be a special order, and hopefully we never have a person that big. But the way we're going, you never know. This one is also collapsible to some degree, but it's mostly going to be put together just like this when you deliver it. It takes the same bucket and splash guard in this one. We do have a couple that have a bucket that slides in underneath. It's a square pan that slides under. Don't let that throw you, but make sure you've got some kind of a bucket. So there's a bariatric. It's just much wider and heavier duty. This is another version of a commode. For all intents and purposes, it's the same, and the inside of this is the same, but this has a feature where this arm will actually drop out of the way. This is helpful for somebody that's in a wheelchair and they're sliding across, or even from a bed, they're sliding across to get onto the toilet, and they need that arm out of the way. So if you're having a patient that can't get into the commode very easily because they can't transfer well, this is the solution. And then that just pops back up while they're using it, and then just let it back down. So that's a drop arm commode, also adjustable for height on there. So you'll use that on occasion.
Not for use over a toilet.
No, you can't use that over a toilet, correct. It's got a bar underneath it, and it won't fit. We're going to shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about the basic one. This is a transfer bench. This is a heavy duty version, but they'll all look pretty much the same. Heavy duty because it's got this extra crossbar underneath it. It's a little bulkier, so it'll hold up better. The idea with this is this part is going to be inside the tub, and this part's going to be outside the tub. So what they'll do, they'll come up to this, they'll sit down, and then they'll be able to lift their feet over the ledge of the tub, and then transfer into the tub, and then they pull the shower curtain. If you see this right here, it's got a slit in that so that the water, they pull that shower curtain across here, that water is going to dump into the tub. Now, these are not perfect. You're going to get some water on the outside, so just tell them, throw a towel down there. You will get a little bit of water on your floor. It's going to happen because this is not a perfect seal here. It is perforated, so the water will drop down through and won't sit on top of this so much. But they will get some water on the floor. Now we're assuming that the shower head, we're sliding in here and the shower head's this way. What if it's the other way? I got a back in the way. So what we've got to do then is this back, another push pin system. This back will come off. Pull this out, and you'll put it on the other side. Okay, so when you deliver this, you may have to take this back off and switch it from one side or the other, depending how the shower and the tub's set up. So that's just it's just 2 pins, and it's got 2 brackets on the bottom that this slides in. It's very easy to adjust.
And those bars on that are longer for more stability.
Pardon?
The bars on that back go further under for more stability on that back.
Yep. Now, these won't work for everybody. So just know that they may have a toilet right by their tub. There may not be space for it. So if you're taking it into a home, try it in the tub first. On anything we deliver, we want to put it in the space where they're going to use it so we know that it works. Because if you just drop this off and say, hey, here's your shower chair and your transfer bench, and you don't try to put it in the shower and it doesn't fit, you're going to be back the next day delivering something different. So solve the problem while you're there. So if this goes in the tub and you put it in there and there's no way it's going to work, you can tell it just doesn't fit, it's just not feasible there, they don't like it, then you're going to try something else maybe with them, and then communicate that back to the nurse if there's a change. The other thing to take in consideration is the tub usually is a little higher than the outside, so your feet are going to be adjusted differently. And these outside legs may be a little higher, but you want this sloped, this a little higher so it slopes. If the water's running, it's going to go into the tub rather than run out and get on the floor. So that will eliminate some of that spill over with that. It's just not a perfect seal there, but if you have this slanted properly, that grade will take it into the tub. So that's a transfer bench. This one's a heavy duty. The lightweight or the regular ones will not have this crossbar underneath, but for all intents and purposes, they're the same. This is a little different version of that transfer bench. This part with the feet, with the suction cups, will go into the tub. And this one slides, instead of having them sit down and then move their legs over, this one's got a slide on it, and I can't remember where. There's a little red tab right here. And that tab will be pulled up, and then they can slide right into the tub. So this is for someone that's got really delicate skin. If you're pulling them on a transfer bench and sliding them over, sometimes that can tear the skin on their backside. So this will eliminate that tearing or that shearing motion for people, and it's a little easier for them to get in and out. This one's not one that we use a lot of, but it's nice to know you've got that as an option. On these feet, just as a small note, these little suction feet, they will get on a tub super hard, and if you just pull, this thing's going to tear. So there's a little tab. There's 3 tabs on every foot. And if you pull that tab up, it breaks the seal, and it comes right up. So break the seal and teach your people when you're setting this up that they need to pull that off there. Because if they just try to rip this out, this is eventually going to just tear and it'll be no good. If these break or if these wear out, these are just screwed in. So you can order new suction feet and just screw them right back into the bottom and replace it if need be, because it happens quite a bit. People forget, and and they're going to inevitably do that once in a while. So we'll put this back on here real quick. Okay. There's a sliding transfer bench. Question? Oh.
No, just waving at
Just
Shauna.
waving at Shauna. Okay, we're going to talk about shower chairs. Now, I'm going to grab 2 or 3 of them here.
One that's adjusted up, one that's not heavy duty.
So we got 3 different shower chairs here. This one here in the middle is a heavy duty. Again, it's got that cross member underneath. They're adjustable for height, and it's got the back. This one, you don't have to switch the back on this because you can just turn the chair whatever direction. Same with the regular one here. You can see how much higher this one is. It's just adjusted really high. This one will go nearly as high as that, so it's just for the height of the user. This one is they call this a shower stool. I don't know why. They try to make the difference. They say this is a shower stool. It doesn't have a back. It's just a little stool there that they can sit on. These are typically a little narrower than these other 2, and so these might fit in a tighter, smaller tub or smaller shower. These also work well in tiny showers because this back takes up space. And if this one, where it doesn't, you can just slide this right clear to the back and give them another couple inches, where this is going to take up 2 or 3 inches on a really shallow shower. Big thing with these is telling people not to fall onto them because these are tippy. They could tip right over on these things. So they should be going down on these. They should be adjusted high enough so they're not just plop down on these things. The most common things with any of this bathroom safety stuff is hard water spots. When you're cleaning these, make sure that you're using some kind of lime away or some kind of hard water remover type stuff, because it will build up, and it may be clean and disinfected, but it's got all those hard water spots on it and it looks like crap. So you want to get those cleared off. So these are the shower chairs, shower stool, if you really want to be technical. And these you can usually get we get most of this from Drive, but you can get them from just about anybody. A lot of people make them. All right, this is a toilet riser. So we call them a raised toilet seat. The industry, everybody calls them toilet risers. So if you're looking for raised toilet seat in our systems or in our catalog or something, you may not find them because they're under a different term. So they raised toilet seat or toilet riser, either one will work. This one, it can be used with the arms or without. So if they don't want arms on there, say they're a little heavier and they're too wide for this, you just take the arms won't be included on this. But if they do want the arms just fit in here again with another pin system. You just push the pins in, those will walk in, and they'll have arms on both sides. This one, they make toilet risers without a clamp system. I really don't like them much. We do have some. I don't like them much because they wiggle and they move too much for these people. So the ones that I like are the ones with the clamps. And this clamp system, has got a little lip on the back of this, and that lip goes underneath the rim of the toilet. So as you're putting it in the toilet, you're putting it under that rim, and then this little piece right here, you're going to screw this piece, and that is going to start wedging this piece to the front of the toilet. And what it's doing is putting pressure up against the rim of that toilet to hold it in place so that it's going to be more stable and it won't pop off on them. These are a 250-pound weight limit type thing. If they need something heavier than that, I have not found one that will accommodate a heavier user. So the only option you have is one of these bariatric commodes over a toilet. That's the only thing I've been able to find, unless they've come out with something that I haven't seen yet, which they're always coming out with new things.
Is that a rental item or a purchase item?
This is a purchased item. There are some companies that will do these as a rental, and you can bring them back and clean them. They are disinfectable, and so forth, but we really tried to stay away from that and make them, give them a good enough deal that they can just purchase them and be done with them, one-time user. but at some point we may have to compete. We may have to include this in the per diem, and if that's the case, then we'd be picking these up, and these are going to be pretty nasty. So you'll probably want to bag these when you're picking them up. Put them in a bag.
Black garbage bag.
Yeah, so keep them clean. But make sure that when you're setting up someone with these, that you're teaching them how to lock and secure this, because over time this can loosen up. So you want to show them, look, you can tighten this up. Because this is all plastic and so forth, it should not be an issue, but it could be if they over tighten this. So if they were to get a wrench and really crank on this, they could possibly break their toilet by putting too much pressure on it. So you want it snug and tight, but you don't want to overdo it either. So be very careful with that part of it. So there's a raised toilet seat and toilet riser. They come in different variations. I should tell you these are about a 4-inch riser. They come in 6-inch, 2-inch. You can get different depths, but you don't want to mix up your inventory too much. Sure you can. This is, I'll show you a picture of this one. This is called the toilet safety frame. We'll show you the picture first, and then we'll show you the actual device. What it does is the bolts that hold the toilet seat on, you're going to remove those bolts, and you have a piece that's going to go in place of that, and then your toilet seat goes on top of it, and these pieces connect to that. And you'll see that here in just a second. So this is a toilet safety frame. So here's the loud and proud version of this. This is that piece that we're just talking about. This is the piece that's going to go between the seat of the toilet and the toilet itself. So the seat's going to go right on top of this, and those bolts, usually a plastic nut and bolt system that goes through here, and then you just tighten it back up. And then these come in from the sides and lock into place for width. Again, it's another pin system. I don't know if you can see that, but those pins, well, there's 3 holes there, so you can adjust for width. So if they want a little narrower, if it's a little tiny lady, you can get it pretty narrow, or leave it wider for somebody that's a little wider. The other feature of this is because every toilet's a little different, you want this arm to be as parallel to the floor as you can, and so you may have to adjust the height for the height of the toilet right here. So that is something, this rests on the floor, so this is going to be sitting like this with it connected to the toilet. Okay, now that's a toilet safety frame that goes to the floor. They have another version of this. I don't know if you can see, can you see that, Shad?
Yeah, come in a little more. Perfect.
This one is the same thing. It attaches to the back almost identically, but it has little handles that curve and rest on the lip of the toilet seat in the front, so you don't have the rails going to the floor. This one's a little more user-friendly in a tight space. If they don't have much space in the front of the toilet, or they have something right here, then you can use these, and it's a little smaller and takes up a little less space. Serves the same function. I like the ones that go to the floor. They're a little more stable, but this will help in a pinch for somebody that's got a tight fit. So, all right, I think that's bathroom safety.